Hey guys, it's Natalie and I am here to do 2 tags today because I am just behind on doing tags, and so many of you guys have been tagging me in these great videos, and I thought, you know what? It is time to do some tags. And I was going to do them individually, but I thought, no, I'm going to do 2 tags at once. So I'm going to be doing the book tropes tag, and I was tagged Gaia Athena, and I will link her down in the description. She has a really great channel. I really love her a lot. And then I'm also doing by the bet tag, and I actually was tagged by 2 people for this one. I was tagged by Inside Robin's World, and I was tagged by BooksByMary. So I'm going to start off with the book tropes tag, and then I will move into the by the bet tag. For the book tropes tags, there are 7 tropes that I guess there are people out there believe about booktubers, and then I'm going to tell you what they think and what I think about what they think as the general idea of this tag, I believe. So the first one is, number 1, booktubers hate libraries. There are a lot of booktubers who only use libraries, and I can't remember the name, but there's actually a booktuber who only owns 4 books. Now, I will say this. Since I've started Booktube, I have been buying a lot of books, where before I was a hardcore library-only person. And I need to get back to using my library. That is something that I need to set as a goal for myself. I think the problem is, one, for me personally, this was my problem. Before I even found out what Booktube was, I had like 5 bookshelves full of books, and it was taking up a lot of room in the house. And my husband kept saying, "Are you going to read these again? Like, we have so many books. Like, what in the world?" And I was like, eh. He's like, "Well, why don't we donate them?" So before I found out about Booktube, I donated like 200, 300, 400 books to my local library, and I think we actually donated some to the local jails and prisons as well. And then I found out about Booktube, and I've been trying to fill up this bookshelf with what I had left. So personally, I've been buying books because I do like to have my bookshelf in the background. And I actually want to get the bookshelf that does that kind of wraparound. I think it's from IKEA, where, you know, it's like a wraparound in the corner, and then the person during their videos, they kind of stand in the middle. I really like that. I want to eventually do that. So I'm kind of refilling my bookshelves up, but I need to get past that. I need to go back to the library. But to say that all booktubers avoid the library, I don't think that's true at all. I see library hauls all the time. I think some of us do get caught up in buying books. I don't think that's a Booktube thing. I think that's just an avid book reader thing that you can get caught up in, because before I started using the library, I was buying books all the time, and I didn't have a Booktube channel. It's just, you know, you get so excited, especially about new books. And I've had people tell me, you know, my library doesn't carry, you know, new releases. You know, sometimes the newest books are two years old, so I can understand, but I don't think that's a Booktube thing. I think that's just an avid book reader thing. You sometimes get into that bad habit, but no, not all booktubers avoid the library. Number 2, booktubers are book hoarders. Well, no, because I was able to give 300 or 400 books away to my library, so I wasn't a book hoarder then. And like I said, the only reason I'm really collecting a lot of books now is so I can fill up the bookshelf in the back. I have seen some booktubers who have, looks like they have like a room that has a wraparound, you know, bookshelves all the way around. But I don't know, but these people read the books, and a lot of the ones that have like the wraparound books, like it's going around the whole room, they reread their books. So if they love to read and they're going to reread them, I don't know. I mean, to me, hoarding is when you're keeping something you don't need and you don't use. If you're rereading your books, or, you know, you're always letting people borrow your books, then that's not that's not hoarding to me. At least that's not my definition of hoarding. This one's a little strange. I don't know exactly what it means, but it's booktubers hate paperbacks. Sometimes you have to get hardback, because when a book comes out, sometimes that's the only option, and if you really want to read it, you have to get that. I do think that hardbacks look nicer on the shelves, but I have told you that I fall asleep reading almost every night, and when those hardbacks fall, I've gotten hurt. There's been a couple times they have really hurt. So paperbacks to me are much easier to read. So I have tons of paperbacks. So I don't know where that came from exactly. Number 4, booktubers only give positive reviews. Well, if you watched one of my latest wrap-ups, I gave a book 1 star, and I actually told all my viewers to, if they saw this book, to get up and run the other way. So I would definitely not say that I only give positive reviews. I will say, if I'm going to take a book and only talk about that one book, and I've only done that I've only done one book review that was about one book, but there's another book I read that was so wonderful that I think I'm going to do a video just about that one book. So if I'm going to do a video just about one book, for me personally, I'm not going to pick a book that I hated, because when you find a book that you love, that you have that book hangover feeling, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I need to tell everybody I know to read this book, that's the kind of feeling that makes you want to make a video about that one book. If I don't like a book, I don't feel the reason to talk about it. I mean, I'll mention in the wrap up, hey, this was not good, do not, but I'm not going to do a whole video about it unless that's the way your BookTube channel is set up. Now, I know some people do their BookTube channels and they have it set up that they do like a weekly review. I know BooksByMary does a lot of weekly reviews, and she's done reviews where she didn't like the book and she's only talking about one book. So no, I totally disagree. This one is really strange to me. All booktubers only do this for the money. Am I supposed to be getting paid for this? Because if I'm supposed to be getting paid for this, somebody's lost my address. I have received no money at all for doing this. And this is a lot of work. I have friends that are interested in doing YouTube channels, not necessarily BookTube channels, but I've had people who have said, oh, I've thought about doing a YouTube channel. And I always say, I am loving it, but it is so much more work than I ever thought. I said, because you have to think out the videos. Then I always make a script to kind of go on. That's why I like tags, because I'm not really having to go by a script. But I have like my bullet points of what I want to say and get across. Then you have to film it. Then you have to edit it. And you guys know I do not like editing, because so many things can go wrong there, and it takes a while to learn how to edit. And then even when you post your video, then you've got to make a thumbnail, because you want to make an interesting thumbnail for your video. And then you got to put a description. And if you talked about somebody in your video, like I've got to put, not that I mind, but I'm going to have to put Gaia Athena's link down here, and then I'm going to put BooksByMary's link, and I'm going to put Inside Robin World's link. So I have to put a whole description. There's so much you have to do to get those videos up. So it's a lot of work. And yeah, once you get really big, and there are some booktubers who are huge, who have, 200, 300,000 subscribers, I know that they have things where publishers will send them books, like free books for an honest review. But most of those people, I've looked, they've been doing this for like 4, 5, 6 years. They have done hundreds upon hundreds of videos. They have done so much work. So if they are getting some free books, good for them. I think they deserve them. And I don't feel like they're giving me book reviews that are, all they have to do is give a book review, an honest book review for the free book. And I have watched some of them who have said, or it'll actually be in their description. I've seen in their description, I only review certain kind of books. Like I only review YA books. I only review romance books. So no, I don't know any booktuber, even if you're getting money, even if you're doing merchandising, and I've seen that, the amount of work it takes to put up a YouTube channel or booktube channel, whatever you want to call it, and try to make it successful, whatever benefits, like monetary benefits you might get, is nothing compared to the work you're going to put into it. That is not why people do this. They do this because of the community, and just you get other rewards, but it's not monetary rewards. I love this next one. All booktubers are teenage girls. If I look like a teenage girl to you, please let me know in the comments, because I will not get a new camera like I've talked about maybe getting in the future. I will stick with this iPhone 10 because I have a magical phone. I am definitely not a teenage girl, but like I said, if I look like one, let me know. I will never switch this camera for the rest of my life. Because I'm actually 29. That's not true either. But if you believe me, if I even look 29 in these videos, I'm never switching cameras. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it's over 29. It's over 30. That's all you're getting from me, over 30. I'm not going to tell you anymore. This last one's a little weird, and I hope it's not true. It certainly isn't true for me, and I don't think it's true for anybody that I watch. Booktubers review/recommend books they haven't read? I don't know where that came from. Why would you review a book you haven't read or recommend a book you haven't read? I guess that goes back to people who have very large followings who get the free books in exchange for a book review. I don't know. I would hope not. I'm going to assume, I always assume the best in people, and I watch a lot of the big booktubers. I'm going to assume that's not true. And if it is, it would be like, the exception, not the rule. There may be like a very, very few people who might be doing something like that. But that, as for the community as a whole, no, I think that's a big pile of mess is what I think it is. I have to keep this channel G-rated because I have students who might find this channel. So I will just say it's a pile of mess. I don't think that is true. And if it is, then it's the exception, not the rule, which I just said. All right, now we're going to move to the By the Bet tag. I have to get more comfortable. All right, By the Bet tag. This was originally, actually, there's somebody else I have to link in the description. I believe this was originally made by Stripped Covered Lit. And if you have not seen Stripped Covered Lit, they are wonderful. The idea of the tag is you're supposed to take the letters of the alphabet and then take every letter and make it a word that is about you or your channel. So, I don't know, I've seen some really good answers. I don't know if my answers are as great as so many other ones I've seen, but let's go ahead and start. We'll start with A, since that's the first letter of the alphabet. This may sound a little strange, but let me explain. A is going to be for autism. Now, I've talked a little bit about it on my channel that I have a son with autism. I've also have a tattoo. I don't know how well you can see it. When I showed it to last video I showed it, it was scabbed over and looking nasty, but this is an autism awareness tattoo, and I probably will be talking a lot more about it. April is a big autism awareness month. It's Light It Up Blue month, and also even before I had my son who had autism, I'm a special ed teacher background, so I've worked with so many kids, and like I said, I've got an autism awareness literally tattooed onto my body, and it might not be my last one. So that definitely, if you know me and you get to know me, you know that's a big part of my life. B is for BookCon. I'm going to BookCon this year in New York, and I am so very, very excited. I've never been. I think it sounds amazing. I keep hearing more and more booktubers on Twitter going, I'm going to BookCon, are you going to BookCon? So I'm so excited. There's somebody who is actually doing a GoFundMe page where she's trying to make pins that say booktuber so that when we're out and about, if we see somebody else wearing the pin, we can be like, oh, you're a booktuber, I'm a booktuber, oh my gosh, what channel is your channel, blah, 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 blah. So that is really exciting. C, this also might sound weird. You might go, huh? C is for the Clockwork Reader, who just hit 200,000 subscribers. And the reason I put C, Clockwork Reader, if it wasn't for the Clockwork Reader, I would never be a part of this community. I did not know what Booktube was. I had a night where I could not find a book, and I was looking on Kindle Unlimited to try to find a book to read. I could not find anything. I was about to pull all the hair out of my head. I was so frustrated. And so I was going into YouTube and typing in book series, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, the Clockwork Reader video popped up, and I watched it. She recommended all these great books. I actually got to go to sleep that night because I read a book she recommended, and I became just so obsessed with her channel because she was talking about books and we had similar taste in books. I think I watched every video she made until I kept hearing her talk about the community. I'm like, community? What community? What she taught? What community? And I went, oh, wait a minute, there's other people who do this? And then I started watching other people, and then I went, I want to do this. This sounds like fun. So blah, blah, blah. So that's why, if it wasn't for the Clockwork Reader, and I really hope she's going to BookCon this year, just so I can say, I'm not a stalker, I'm not a crazy person, but I would just like to say, you know what, thank you, because I never would have discovered this community. I would never have my channel if I had not clicked on your video, and I would like to say thank you. I don't want to scare her. I don't want her to feel like I need to get security. There's this chick called the Sleepy Reader who keeps trying to talk to me, and she's being weird, but hopefully that won't happen. But I hope she's going. I know she's gone in the past, and I would just like to say thank you to her. D. I'm going to say, for D, I put dedicated, because like I said before, this is a lot of work, but because you get so much back, I have become very dedicated to this channel. So that's why I picked dedicated for D. For E, I can't say what I want to say because once again, I said I have to keep this channel rated G, because I wanted to say editing. I can't say that. So I'm going to say E is editing is not fun, which, let me clarify. Now that I know how to edit, it can be fun. It's fun to see book images pop up. It's fun to see things that I can do. But the whole editing process and trying to find the right editing program and trying to figure out how to work it was just a nightmare for me. So on good days when my software is doing what it's supposed to do, that's great. But sometimes the editing, I'll edit a whole video and then all of a sudden it's gone, or it'll say video's not viable. And I'm like, what is happening? So I wanted to say editing, but I'll just say editing can sometimes not be fun. For G, I put gimme 5 or more, since that's a video I try to do every single week. For H, I put Hufflepuff. I am a very proud Hufflepuff. For I put introvert, but I'm not a hardcore introvert. And I just heard the other day somebody use the word ambivert. I said, what is an ambivert? They're like, it's somebody who has introverted and extroverted qualities. So I am an introvert, but if you look at it as a spectrum where introverted is over here and extroverted is over here, I'm not over here. I do like being around people. I do need to go out and be around other people, or I do get energy when I go to my book clubs and I go to my classes or just have lunch with my friends. I'm very energetic and but I do have to have my downtime. So I'm somewhere in between, but I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. And I'm saying that because I'm comparing myself to, I come from a family of extroverts. So when I'm around my family, I really feel like an introvert. J, I put joke around because as I'm getting more and more comfortable with the camera, I'm noticing I'm joking around more and more. And that's just my personality starting to come through. That's just who I was. And actually I was nervous. I was like, oh no, my personality's coming through. They're going to see what a crazy weirdo I am and they're not going to like me. And you guys seem to love it. The weirder I am, you seem to love it. You seem to eat it up. So I went with joke around. K, I put kids because I'm a teacher, and also I'm going to be putting out a video pretty soon, and probably a few videos that it's going to say for the kids, because I have students who find my channel, and I actually did a survey of a second grade class where they listed each one of them told me what their 3 favorite chapter books are. So I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to be doing another job next week with a 4th grade class. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to start doing a few videos for the kids that I know come and watch my videos, because I had a 1st grader say, they call me Miss A. He said, Miss A, I found your channel. And so many of them will say that, but they haven't really found it. But I found out this kid really did. I'm like, because I went, really? I said, what did you watch exactly? He goes, I watched your February wrap-up video. And I thought, oh gosh, he really did watch my video. And oh my gosh, that poor child was probably bored out of his mind watching Miss A talking about adult books. So I was like, I have got to put at least a couple of videos that say for the kids, so these kids who find me can watch something interesting. So that's why I picked, that's a very long explanation. Might have to edit some of that out. L for LitJoy, one of my book boxes that comes in every month. M for mysteries. I love a book with a mystery. N, I'm not being very original here. N is for Natalie, because that is my name. I have 2 for O. O is for Owlcrate, my other book box subscription, and O for overachiever, because I'm doing 2 tags in one video, so I think that makes me an overachiever. I don't really think so. I'm not at all an overachiever. Actually, I think my sister is an overachiever, and I'm definitely the underachiever. See, Jay, joke around. See, I'm joking around. Ha ha ha. For P, I put psychological thrillers, because, oh my gosh, when somebody holds a book up and says, this psychological thriller, oh, I'm just like, oh, I gotta have that book. For Q, I did put Quidditch, and I explained this in my Hogwarts tag because I'm a Hufflepuff. Even though I'm not very good at sports, I think I would make the team. So that's why I put Quidditch for Q. For R, I put Reese Witherspoon Book Club Review. It will be a monthly thing I do where I will talk about the book club pick and how much I enjoyed it or maybe did not enjoy it, and then I will talk about the next book. So that's a new, I have my Give Me 5 or More that I do every week. This will be a monthly thing that I do, the Reese Witherspoon Book Club Review. S, I put Stephen King, because one of my goals is to read a Stephen King book this year. I've talked to so many of you who love Stephen King and asked for recommendations, and I've gotten a bunch. I did get Bag of Bones in one of my book hauls, and this might be what I read because I have it. But yeah, I've probably watched, my goodness, every Stephen King movie, but I've never read a Stephen King book, and I'm an avid book reader. I think that's a little odd. T, I put travel because I love to travel. Obviously, you saw how excited I was to say I was going to BookCon. I got to go to Europe last April and go to London and Paris and Rome. I was actually watching BooksByMary, and she did, for Jay, she put Japan. I actually would also like to go to Japan, Mary, and guess what? My husband also has been there twice. She was telling about how her husband had been there. So next time I get to travel, I would like to go to some kind of Asian country. I did the whole European thing. I had a good time, but I really want to see all parts of the world. So maybe you and I can plan a trip to Japan sometime, Mary, since we both like that. But yeah, I do love to travel, even when it's local. I'm going back down to Universal Studios in November. I like getting out of the house. I like getting out of Virginia sometimes. I put unconditional acceptance because I cannot get over how welcoming and accepting this community is. I don't know how many times I've had videos where I'll be watching it and I'll be like, oh gosh, I'm really being weird. Oh, this is going to be horrible. And then I'll get a comment, oh girl, you're so funny. So, and then the fact when I put out that video that was 1 minute long and I looked horrible, I'm like, help me, what camera do you use? I don't know. And I mean, immediately 20 comments. So the unconditional acceptance has been amazing. Not original, videos. I make videos for my channel, so that's why I picked it. I picked writer. I'm taking writing classes. I've been working on my first YA novel for about 3 years now, and I'm hoping to get there. But like so many booktubers, I respect books so much. I think there's nothing, well, I won't say there's nothing greater. I mean, you can, do a lot of the greater things, but there's something very special about writing a book because that's a legacy when you are long gone that people can pick up and read. So I would love to leave a book behind before I leave this great land or leave this great earth. This one's also weird, but you want to get to know me, right? X is for x-rays. I have had so many weird medical things happen to me in my life. I think they have x-rayed, I'm not kidding, every part of my body. I was trying to think, what has not been x-rayed? I was in a horrible car accident. I got hit by a drunk driver when I was a teenager, so I got my whole body x-rayed for that. I've had all my internal stomach, and I had an appendix burst, so they had to do x-rays for that. I had the shortness of breath a couple summers ago. They thought maybe I had heart problems. They were x-raying all my heart. So I probably had way more x-rays than is normal. That I couldn't think of anything else besides x-ray, and I went, wait a minute, that would work. You're like the x-ray girl. Y I put for young adult because that's what I write, and that's my second favorite genre. And Z is a little weird, but there used to be this store called Z Spot. I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. So I thought, yes, I consider my channel Z Spot to come for great content. That's corny. That's probably corny, but that's all I could come up with for Z. So thank you so much. Those are the tags. I will link the people who tagged me down in the description. If you're wondering who I'm tagging anybody who wants to do any of these tags. I'm not tagging anyone specific. If you want to do either one of these tags, go for it and have fun. My booktuber shout out for this video is Chrissy from the Return Cart. I love her videos. She has really, really great content. She has a combination. I love her content, but she also will make you laugh. She now has a sidekick. She has a whiteboard that she uses to help illustrate as she's giving you reviews and information about books, and she puts these funny illustrations on her whiteboard. So really, really great content. Definitely need to check out the Return Cart, and I will put her information down in the description. She's actually pretty good friends with the Argyle dinosaur. I love to watch when they go back and forth on Twitter, or even in my comments sometimes they'll go back and forth. They're both just hysterical. I love them both. So that's my booktuber shout out, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.